What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining me again. It is Brian here with Fixed Air Moon, keeping the collective fixed on astrology. I'm really glad you guys are joining me today. If you do not already subscribe, please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, like, comment, share, all that good stuff. Really helps get the video out there, and I would like the channel to grow organically with a bunch of cool people that like astrology. Anyways, I hope you guys are doing well. It is June 4th, 2020. So, let's jump right in. We got the moon coming into Sag today. So, emotionally, we're going to be thinking about beliefs, thinking about more of what's going on in the world. It's going to be kind of tied to this south node, actually, because we have that eclipse coming tomorrow. So it's like we're going to be very emotionally tied to what's going on in the world today and beliefs. And I think as a collective, it's going to be weighing heavy on our emotions right now. Now, Sag also is very free-spirited, so I think you could be feeling free-spirited. You might want to get out and travel, get outside, go on an adventure, go on a hike. You know, Sag is fun and ruled by Jupiter, so it's nice. It's much better than being in Scorpio. Scorpio, the moon's we're dealing with deep stuff. You know, the moon's already emotional, and then when we start scraping the bottom of our emotions, it gets pretty rough. So it'll be nice to come into Sag. Might want to pick up a book and learn something new, or just maybe even teach somebody something new. You know, that's that Sag energy with our moon. So pretty cool. We do have our lunar eclipse tomorrow night. That's exciting. You know, big energy, but I think for what it's worth, they're just cool, right? Like, even if we're just talking about like looking up and seeing an eclipse, like eclipse seasons are cool. So lunar eclipse will be super cool tomorrow. The moon will be making oppositions, obviously, to the sun for the full moon, but it's going to be making that opposition to Venus tomorrow. So, you know, get ready to feel like maybe, you know, you're having a hard time in your community seeing the value and like the things close to you and like what's happening in your personal life and your relationships. And you know, Venus is still retrograde and coming into like the end, you know, the last couple weeks of it, but still it's a heavy Venus retrograde, and this opposition to the moon is going to bring out those feelings with others, and it's like maybe we're not seeing the truth and the beauty in other people, and that's going to be a hard one with this full moon, with the lunar eclipse. So try to see the value and the beauty in others. Try and see the value and the beauty in your community and where you are right now in life, and try not to forget that like there is still beauty around us. You know, like we sometimes get too caught up in the bigger things in life, and like maybe sometimes just taking a step back and like coming back and saying, you know what, life is beautiful, and you know, be grateful just to be here. There's a lot of power in that, and a lot of people don't take advantage of that power, and I hope you guys do, because you know, it all depends with all this Gemini energy. It all depends on where you are at, and everybody's going to be at a different place because it really does deal with your community. So, you know, how you getting through this, and maybe like go on that walk, go on that hike in nature, go on a little adventure, and maybe you'll see the beauty that you're looking for. But maybe if you stay at home and just stare at the computer screen, maybe you're not going to find much beauty in the next couple days. So take that for what it's worth. We do have the exact sextile with Uranus and Mercury here. Mercury is in its shadow. It's about to go retrograde on the 17th, I believe, of this month. I think it's 14 degrees of Cancer, and then it retrogrades back to 5 degrees. So since Monday, we've been in the Mercury retrograde shadow. So I think just prepare yourself for a little bit of confusion, which is interesting in the world. You think we'd have enough confusion going on. Well, we get a little bit more confusion coming our way. And you know, that puts 7 of our 9 planets retrograde when Mercury goes retrograde. So Maybe only 6 because Mars isn't. So yeah, so 6 of our planets retrograde at one time. I mean, we're really going through and having to like figure some shit out. And now it's our really figuring things out in our mind and our intellect. And Mercury wants to see both sides. It's split down the middle. It doesn't have a side. And I think there's something cool about that, just in general with Mercury, and how it's in Cancer right now, where it can be a little edgy, a little moody, but if you can still see both sides of the equation, you don't have to put that negative out there. You can just like take what comes and like decide how you want to handle it. And that retrograde is going to bring more. It's just confusion and irritability, and car problems is like totally a thing with Mercury retrograde. So check your car, like make sure your car's good, like check your fluids, all that stuff, because Mercury retrograde seems to do weird things to vehicles. So little advice for that. It's still the shadow, so you're not in it yet, but coming up. And then that sextile to Uranus, it's exact today, so I think you're going to have choices. You're going to have a choice to take the high road or the low road, and it's going to be very apparent today. So that's just basic stuff. I mean, Uranus is so cool because it's really like an ascension planet, and you can really take that stairway to heaven with Uranus, and it's unique, and it might come in this way that you're not even expecting. And so there might be this like gift that all of a sudden pops into your head, and you're like, oh, you're right, I can do that, because that would make me feel good, and like I can express that to people, and that would make them feel good. And you never know. It's all sorts of things, but it's Uranus is it's going further into Taurus every day until it goes retrograde later in a couple months. I think in a month and a half, until it goes retrograde. So like we haven't seen 8 degrees 45 minutes in a long time with Uranus. Like Uranus takes a very long time to go around the zodiac. So this is like very much a new reality. Like we're switching up the reality. We're changing things up. And like I mentioned yesterday with Saturn down here and Neptune in the midpoint between Uranus and Saturn, it's like, we're getting all these messages from like we could like live that dream world, right? And that's where all the pressure's at. It's like, do we want the dream world, or are we going to restrict ourselves from the ascension and from like feeling really good? Because there's still a lot of beauty in people, and I think there's so much deception going on. Like, let's just talk about Neptune at 20 degrees. Why would I do that? Let's just talk about Neptune at 20 degrees for a second. Like Neptune, and it's almost 21 degrees. Like that's getting pretty deep. Like we're in the third decan of Pisces, and I mean, it's like, this is crazy. Like this is a time for deception. I'm pretty sure the last time that we were at this degree with Neptune in Pisces, it was the Revolutionary War, which is, it's kind of what we're at right now. It's kind of a revolutionary war, and we're making big changes, and big changes to a structure in Saturn that just really wasn't serving the greatest good in Aquarius. Like it really wasn't serving humanity's greatest good. So I think Saturn's going to retrograde here back into Capricorn, and we're gonna try this again. We're gonna come back in, make big change with Pluto and Jupiter one more time, and then we're going to start making some more progress later this year. But like there's still a lot of change to come. Like there's just this system in place that's not working for everybody right now, and it's got to change, and there's a revolution coming about it. So big change, and I think it's divine. Like there's a very there's a very godlike aspect to Neptune, and it's very, very, very much spiritual, but it also can be a delusion. It can be like a mirage. It could be a dream. Remember, dreams can come true. Mirages aren't even there. So sometimes, hi buddy, I'll be right out. So sometimes you got to discern between what is a dream and what is a mirage. And that's where we're at there. We are making an exact sextile to Saturn with our moon. So again, we should be feeling good about broadening things with humanity. Like, we should be emotionally ready to jump in and make changes for this new world, right? For bring in this new age and innovate with each other. And like, Aquarius is humanitarian. Like, it's the people, and we got to be with we got to connect and not restrict ourselves. Saturn can be very restrictive, but in Aquarius, he's more unique and edgy. And we got to get and be more unique and edgy with people and not restrict ourselves from that feeling, because that can feel really good and it can really broaden things and open things up and open up big doors. So keep that in mind. We are getting the semi-square from Mars. This is the hardest aspect of the day, besides for the square to the sun, but that's exact tomorrow. We've been talking about that all week, so I'm going to leave that out of this horoscope. Like, coming into this Mars and Saturn semi-square is, that's where it's like, it's we gotta fight for what we're being called to fight for. Like, you gotta listen to Neptune. You gotta listen to the higher frequency that's coming in, and like, have your antenna up there. Like, Neptune looks like an antenna, right? Like, it's important to have that antenna up and to like try and see more than just what's in front of you in this physical reality, because there really is more to everything than meets the eye, and you have to believe it before you can see that. Like, you can't just see it and believe it all the time. Sometimes you have to trust in a higher thing, in a higher power, and that's what Neptune wants us to do, is to trust that things are going to work itself out, and that there's a bigger, greater plan, and like, everything is in harmony for a reason, and like, we just get out of sync down here for a little bit, but when you get out of sync, it's only to come back into harmony. And we're really not, like, we're really in perfect harmony. Like, everything happens for a reason, and all of this stuff is happening for a reason. Right now we're fighting for that reason, and it's hard because we feel like we're fighting for something that maybe isn't going to happen and isn't going to bring in the new age. And like, maybe that we're feeling like fighting is going against what the higher frequency wants, like Neptune. But that's just the confusion of Mars and Pisces. Like, we got to go back to our emotions and like our North Node and our sun, and like realize that like our soul and everything wants to be a part of something, and like wants to be a part of a community, and wants to feel good, and wants to connect, and we want to connect. So today it might feel hard to connect. There might be some things in the world that happen today that get a little frisky. There could, like, Mars and Saturn are two malefics, and they're making a hard semi-square. I mean, this could bring on some big things. It really could. Like, you could, on an individual level, feel like the dreams that you want just aren't going to, like, you're just going to be restricted from those, and the outside world's not going to let that happen because of all sorts of different things that are coming in. But you gotta sometimes just take a hike, right? Come back to our moon. Maybe just take a hike and realize that you can make those things happen. Maybe it just takes a little bit of time. You just got to keep working at it and keep learning and keep growing to make those things happen. Like, not everything can happen overnight. Call it with there, and we'll pull a card. The Four of Wands. We got to come together, and we got to love each other, and we got to be, we got to dance and have a good time sometimes. Like, let's go be Sag, and let's go have a fun party. Let's go feel good for once. Like, I think everybody's been feeling down and out long enough, and we got to let the creativity come, and, and join each other in a good time, and let the love flow, and let that drive to be connected to more people, let that come out. I think that's big today, because that eclipse is tomorrow, and I'm gonna be honest, that's gonna bring out full moons, man. They tend to bring out werewolves. If you remember, full moons bring out the werewolves. And with an eclipse energy with it, I'm looking forward to tomorrow's video to talk about that more. But, try and come together, see people for who they are. Like, we're all just humans and we're all trying our best. I really do believe that, and I hope you do too. And, let's start being more Aquarius about it. Like, let's start, being there for each other and, like, realize that really we're all on the same team. And there's a very, very, very small amount of people that are trying to keep us on different teams. Like, you got to understand that. Like, we're on the same team, every one of us. And there's just a very small amount of people keeping us from that. And Pluto Jupiter is about to break that structure down this year. So all is good. It's crazy. Our life is crazy, but everything's for a reason. And Pluto Jupiter is going to change things. Especially on December 21st when Jupiter passes Saturn. So, make it to December 21st. Let's get to 2021. This year's heating up, but we're going to get through it. All right, I love you guys. I will see you tomorrow. I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care.